Your business deploys AI pilots everywhere. But are they going anywhere? Or are they stuck in silos, exhausting resources, unable to scale? Maybe you don't need hundreds of AI pilots, you need a holistic strategy. IBM has 65,000 consultants with Gen AI expertise who can help you design, integrate, and optimize AI solutions. So you're not just deploying AI, you're scaling it across your business. Learn more at ibm.com/consulting. IBM. Let's create.
Hi, and welcome to IKEA. How can I help?
Oh, my schedule is crazy. I just want some me time.
Maybe it's time to embrace the joy of staying in. With comfortable beds, pillow and decor, mood lighting, and so much more, you can turn your bedroom into the place to be.
Oh, sounds like a dream.
We've got you. Visit us in-store or at ikea-usa.com/sleep to create your dream bedroom today.
Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily, distribute it everywhere, and even earn money, all in one place for free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit your podcasts right from your phone or your computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also available on Spotify, and when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, Q&As and polls are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. Ever since I discovered Spotify for Podcasters, I feel so supported in the creation and distribution of my show. Spotify for Podcasters hosts masterclasses, office hours, and more to help creators develop and fine-tune their skills. I highly recommend you give it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started. I always have to laugh when I go back and edit these episodes, and I always open with the same darn thing. It's like, hello everyone, what's up? Welcome back to 80/20. And I just cringe because it's always the same thing. And I'm always like, happy Monday or happy Thursday. And to be completely honest with you guys, I've not had a happy Thursday. And that's why this episode is going up the following Monday. I have had a very discombobulated week, and I am feeling very ungrounded, just to preface this entire thing. I guess this story, maybe this episode. I really don't know where this is going. I have points outlined for a topic that I want to talk about later, but right now, I just need to chat with you guys. I just need to kind of tell you where my head is at. I've been feeling very ungrounded ever since I got back from vacation. I had an amazing time in Utah. I was gone for 10 days, and I came back, and I haven't been able to work my way back into my, home routine, because I'm leaving tomorrow to go to my sister's bachelorette for the weekend. And so I was like, what's the point of getting back into my routine if I'm just going to get uprooted again? And so this whole time I've been here, I just feel like a visitor, because I literally got home. I have like 3 days and then I'm turning around and leaving again. And so I'm like, what's the point in getting, regrounded or reworked into my routine if I'm just going to get uprooted again and go be off of my routine? Because obviously I just know that it's going to be 8 of us. And when you're with 8 other girls and doing things as a group, obviously you're not going to really be able to be completely on your routine. You can't just be like, all right, guys, I'm going to go do a workout. Like, I think Lex and I might plan on doing like a wedding workout or something, just turning on like fun, like wedding-ish music, and maybe just like leading a little stretchy yoga sesh on the back deck or something. But and we still need to finalize the itinerary. I just feel so, I don't know, I used to never be like this. I used to be so on top of my shit all the time, and I don't know what happened, but I'm just feeling like I can't get it together, and I feel so guilty about that, because I feel like I'm letting everybody down. And granted, that's probably not true, and I always tend to make up situations in my head that are so false and so like furthest from the truth. But I do feel guilty for not having an episode up on Thursday. I do feel guilty for not having all my ducks in a row before I go to this bachelorette party, and ducks in the row for the bachelorette party. Like Lex and I were going to get itineraries printed off at Staples, and we were going to get a couple more things, and there's just not time. Like there's just no way to do it. And then on top of that, Sam's also at my house as well. So I'm like entertaining him and trying to cater to my work and cater to going to this bachelorette party. And it's a lot. And I hate to start this episode off complaining, because literally if someone starts complaining in a podcast, I normally just click out. I think that it's really important that I share with you guys that I'm a human too. And I had this like devil angel moment when I was in the shower. I felt like there was a devil on one shoulder and an angel on another. And I was trying to figure out if I could possibly record this podcast today and get it up today for you guys. And on the negative end, it was like, if you don't get this episode up, everybody's gonna hate you and you're gonna get so many negative reviews, and people are gonna think that you are flaky, and people are gonna think that you're not committed, and people are gonna think this and think that. And I was just really going down this rabbit hole of complete negative self-talk, self-sabotage, honestly, and just telling myself that I was basically the freaking worst for not having an episode up on Thursday. And then on the opposite end, I had this moment of, wait a second, the people that you're talking to are real human beings with real hearts, real minds, and real life situations, and they're not perfect either. So there's no point in pretending like you're perfect, putting on this show that you can do it all, because you can't do it all. No one can. Just tell them how you really feel. Tell them how you are doing. Tell them what's up, and they'll understand. And if they're bitchy about it, then you don't want them listening to your show anyway. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. And just know that it's not going to be a regular thing for me to skip an episode, but I'm just discombobulated. And if I had a producer and a studio, and I don't even know, I mean, what's in the podcast world? All I know is my home microphone in my office and hooked up to my computer, and that's all I know. And it's important for me to be able to show you guys all aspects of my life, not just the good, not just the inspirational, but the moments when I'm not doing as well as I hope. It's important that I show you real life, and I talk about real life on here, not just always sunshine and rainbows and happiness and being your best self and living your best life, because in reality, it's not always going to be like that all the time. I was talking to my mom this morning, and she reminded me that progress and life itself is never linear. It's not always going to be trending in the right direction. Sometimes you're going to drop down a little bit. Sometimes you might drop down a lot, but you always come back up. And every time that you get knocked down, it's just the world's way of, I don't know, kind of like humbling you a little bit in a way. And then, making sure that you can still face the challenge and be reminded that it's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows. Just to give you guys a glimpse into my shitty morning, and I say that literally, there was an overflowing clogged toilet. That was not my doing. The dog rolled in shit. She needed a bath. I blended 2 different things this morning. The first was my smoothie. The blender exploded on me. I went to make some almond milk because we were out of milk for my coffee, and I was going to use the other blender because the first blender exploded on me and it wasn't safe. And then the other blender also exploded on me. Yes, the lid was on. Don't ask me the physics of that. I'm still trying to figure that one out. So I just went without the coffee. I'm just drinking water, which is totally fine. Probably don't need the coffee because it would just add to the adrenaline rush that I'm feeling. When I say all those things out loud, it doesn't sound like much. But to me, I don't know, it just threw my whole day off. I was like, seriously, this is how we're going to start the day. This is how it's going to go. And then I sat down and I just wrote in my journal, and I was like, I refuse to have a bad day. I refuse to let these things truly impact the day that I'm about to have. And then I went and did a workout. I was going to try to sweat it all out, and I just didn't feel strong. I was really just getting down on myself for not performing the way that I typically do. And I don't know, it just kind of turned into this total negative self-talk, and then I started talking myself into the idea that I'm not a good person, I'm not a good podcast host, I'm not a good health coach, I'm not a good this, I'm not a good that, and it just turned into this whole downward spiral. And so here we are. Despite all of that, I refuse to sit here and think that my day has completely, totally gone to shit, because I still have 13 hours left today and so many opportunities to turn things around, so many opportunities to make today a good day, even though it didn't necessarily get off to the right start. That being said, I have a topic that I want to talk to you guys about today. I still want to talk about that topic, even if this might be a good reminder for me. I still want to talk about increasing energy and getting more zest out of life, because this is an area that I struggled with for such a long time. And I have a couple exercises for you guys to kind of work through to navigate how you are currently using your energy and what potentially drains your energy, energy boosters, and ways that, and things that you can do every single day to make sure that you are getting the most out of your days, like I'm going to try to do today. So first things first, it's important to recognize that our energy is impacted by breaking news. You guys are going to be shocked when you hear this. The food that we eat, the people that we spend our time around, so our circle, the way that we move our bodies, how we're doing mentally, how we're doing physically. It seems like that's kind of a pattern here on the show, right? When you look at health from a holistic approach, when you look at the principles of living a truly all-around healthy life, these things just keep popping up. And I feel like a broken record when I say it, but it's true. In order to get the most out of life, you have to be putting yourself first. When it comes to nutrition, when it comes to exercise, when it comes to your mental health, when it comes to your circle, all these things are so interconnected and intertwined. And once that clicks for you, I feel like everything starts to get a little bit easier, and you just start having more and more and more of these aha moments, and you can start to pinpoint things in your life. So maybe A is caused by B and B is caused by C, and if you fix C, then A and B are fixed as well. The very first step when it comes to increasing your energy is recognizing why you want to work on your energy to begin with. I always tell my clients to start with finding out why. If you are trying to dig into a problem and you don't really know why you're doing it, it's not going to last. You're going to find 2 articles online and you're going to be like, that's cool information. And then your lunch break is going to be over and you're not going to think about it again ever. So figuring out why exactly you want to increase your energy, you want to feel a little boost that is not caused by caffeine. You want to find more zest out of life. Why? Why do you want to do that? What's your relationship with energy currently? Do you hit a hard afternoon slump? Do you struggle to get out of bed in the morning? Do you need 4 cups of coffee just to keep going? What does your current energy state look like? And maybe you take a minute and write down a couple challenges that you're facing right now when it comes to energy. Are you living your life to the fullest, or are you just running low on battery? Now would be a good time to pause the podcast if you want to sit down with your journal maybe, or you could do it on the notes app in your phone and just kind of figure out why exactly you want to increase your energy. So the next step is to make a list of all the things that both energize you and drain you. So I call these energy givers and energy drainers. If you have a piece of paper by you, I encourage you to just draw a line straight down the middle, and one side can be your energy givers and then the other side can be your energy drainers. And same deal, you can pause the show and write down some energy givers, energy drainers. If you want to, right now would be a good time to do that. If you guys are stumped on energy givers versus drainers, I will read you both of my lists. So my energy givers, just a couple of them, include movement, spending time by myself to recharge, spending quality time with the people I love, surrounding myself with positive people, and positive content, sunshine, eating nutritious foods, working on myself through yoga, meditation, and writing, listening to music, and going for a drive. And some energy drainers include junk food, excessive amounts of alcohol, spending too much time around others, and negative people or people who complain too much. So by understanding exactly what works and what doesn't work for you, because everybody's going to be different, some things on my energy givers list might be on your energy drainers list, and that's completely fine because we're all wired so differently. But by understanding your own unique needs, you can learn how to meet them. I want to talk about eating for energy a little bit here. So it's no secret that when you eat better, you feel better. So these are foods like vegetables, fruits, high quality organic animal proteins, wild fish, eggs, nuts and seeds, avocados. If you eat dairy, make sure that it's high quality organic dairy. And we talk a lot about whole real foods on this show, but anything that either comes from the ground or used to have a face is typically a whole real food. Whereas foods that were packaged or highly processed or made in a factory are not going to have the same nutritional value as foods that came from nature. And so eating as close to nature as possible is a key component of boosting your energy, because when you eat, and also eating balanced meals as well, so incorporating a fat, a protein, and a carb into all of your meals so it can sustain your energy for longer. Because if you're just eating like a Pop-Tart in the morning, you're going to have a really quick burst of energy and then it's going to crash because the Pop-Tart is all carbs, it's all sugar. And you're not going to be able to have a very productive morning because you're going to be trying to work through your sugar crash and your craving. And then you're probably going to be like, oh, I'm just so tired, I need another cup of coffee. And it's just this endless cycle of not feeding yourself properly. So I know that it's easier said than done, but I have a suggestion to bring to the table when it comes to eating better. What if you just switched up your breakfast? Start your day with a nutritious breakfast instead of that Pop-Tart or a waffle or a pancake or something. Make sure that your breakfast is balanced and it is one that is delicious and nutritious. You don't have to sacrifice eating delicious food for eating healthy food. Healthy food is delicious because it's what your body truly needs and wants. And once you start eating more of it, you're naturally going to crave it more. And so start with a balanced breakfast that includes a fat, a protein, and a carb. I love to make a big smoothie for breakfast. I call it my balanced green smoothie. And it includes half of a banana, a handful of spinach, and a handful of kale, and 1 scoop of high quality protein powder. That's the key here. There's a lot of protein powders out there on the market that are just really not it. Typically protein powders have a lot of additives that you don't really need. That you don't need. And so it's really important to make sure that the protein powder that you are using is a high quality protein powder that does not contain a lot of additives and chemicals. I like to add a scoop of almond butter as well, and I just blend it with water. It's a really yummy, quick and simple green protein smoothie, and it typically keeps me full for like 3 to 4 hours. So that is just an idea for you guys of how to create a balanced breakfast. Also want to remind you guys that you can't just rely on supplements and protein powders as your main source of protein. So it's okay to use a protein powder maybe a couple times a week, but I would really, really encourage you to eat a type of protein that you can chew. And same thing with greens. Like a lot of people will use greens powders in their smoothies, and it takes no more time in your morning to add a handful of spinach than it does to add a scoop of greens powder. There's really no point in scooping your greens when you could quite literally buy a bag of spinach and freeze it if you're not going to use the whole thing before it goes bad. But yeah, I never understood greens powder. I feel like protein powder is one thing, but greens powder, I'm just like, just put a handful of spinach in your smoothie, you know? In addition to that, there are also a couple natural nootropics, which are brain and mood boosting foods that you can incorporate into your diet that might help you to improve cognitive function. So these include maca, avocados, cacao, matcha, turmeric, goji berries, are all foods that could help to potentially give you a boost in energy, help to boost your mood, memory, and focus as well. There's a really good book called Smart Plants by Julia Morris, and I will have it linked in the show notes if you want to learn a little bit more about how the food that you eat directly impacts your brain. In addition to food, it's also really important to remember that the habits and the things that you do every single day impact your energy as well. So I think that the number one priority should be trying to reduce stress in your life. So take a look at your energy drainers list, and those are probably the top stressors in your life. Maybe do a little bit of self-reflection. What can you change in order to increase your energy givers and decrease your energy drainers? Also, making sure that you're getting enough sleep at night is critical. I feel like it's pretty obvious that if you're not sleeping enough, you're going to be tired the next day. But a lot of us just kind of let sleep fall to the wayside when we have a busy schedule. You're more productive if you're not tired, right? If you feel that afternoon slump coming on, it's really important to get up and move around. Don't just sit there and pour yourself another cup of coffee, because that's a slippery slope to go down. Maybe go for a walk or do some squats or something, or like jumping jacks in your office, or phone a friend, or I don't know, just do something that will help you to boost your energy. Again, look at those energy givers on your list and figure out what you could do in the office, what you could do between classes that are gonna help you to boost your energy rather than reaching for like a third or fourth cup of coffee. Also, staying hydrated is really, really important. A lot of people walk around all day long without realizing that they're actually really dehydrated, and you'd be surprised the impact that just drinking some water can make on you. So I would encourage you to fill up that water bottle and have a goal of drinking 2, 3, 4 liters a day, whatever's right for you and your body type, and just see if that makes any difference, because I would put money on it that it probably does. Thank you for listening to this episode of 80/20. If you enjoyed it, please let me know by dropping a rate and a review. This helps more people just like you find and listen to the show. Don't forget to follow me, Lily, on Instagram. My username is @LilyRakow, that's LILYRAKOW, and follow the podcast Instagram page as well, which is 8020pod, that's 8020pod on Instagram. New episodes of 80/20 go live every Monday and Thursday, or subscribe to stay up to date with the latest.